Alright, finally time for the video that I've been promising for a while, how to win with Sub-Zero. This is going to be broken down into 3 parts. First is how to get the hit, then it's how to maximize the hit, and then I'm going to deal with extras, weaknesses, that sort of stuff. So first up, how to get the hit. How to get the hit is going to be broken down into a couple different play styles. First up, we're going to do the one that I am the most passionate about, and that is the slide. That's right, we're going to live and die by the slide in this portion of the video because I believe Sub-Zero in this game is very much a whiff punish character. He is more of a play patiently, wait for the opponent to make a mistake, and then capitalize on that mistake from a distance, not up close, not like right here, capitalize on the mistake. No. Be around here, the opponent messes up with something, then you get to capitalize on that. So this whiff could be a projectile. There is stuff to talk about with projectiles, but it could also just be a whiffed normal, and that's what it's often going to be, because the nature of characters in MK is that strings mean that in a lot of cases they're going to be moving up to do a 2-hit string, and so they're often going to be vulnerable for a little bit, especially if you're existing in a space that allows you to get out of that range. You see them coming in, you backdash slightly, and that allows you to escape. Now a character like Sindel with that forward 1 move is notoriously hard to punish off of it. If I was to try to punish her with a button, if I was trying to do this and then like dash in, you can, but it's tight because if you dash in too soon, I just tried to dash in too soon there, I'm going to get caught by the last of the hair. And you can see in tournament, a lot of people try to get in there and punish that, and it can be done, but yeah, notice too soon there, too soon. So it's tricky to do that. Now this is a little bit easier, the back 3, to get that punish, but still tricky. You got to time when that last one has been, but then be close enough to actually get that punish, right? So just showing it can be done. You can even do a dive kick if you want. Dive kick can be a decent punish in a lot of cases, kind of zip past things. I do love a dive kick punish, but honestly, dive kick to me is part of slide. Dive kick and slide. These are Sub-Zero's strengths that other characters do not have. Yes, I know other characters have dive, but I believe Sub-Zero's dive kick is superior in a lot of ways, and I'll get to that. At any rate, though, the slide allows you to punish this more easily because you get back from it, slide, get back from it. There's no worry about getting hit by that last hit. You can even watch that last hit go. You're still going to slide. Oh, this is so much simpler. Oh, every time I'm not getting touched by that. And this is the sort of thing you can build a game plan around. I know that might seem crazy or wild to say, but the foundation of your damage could be coming from slides, because that's also then going to condition the opponent to act a particular way. Now you might say, old man, Sindel's going to be in the air doing her fireballs. Yeah, right as she's about to land, hit it with a slide. But there are characters that it's going to be easier to enforce a slide-focused game plan on. But slide is going to give you a lot of damage, and it'll give you a lot of damage with a lot of different characters. You can be getting slide combos with the Mileena version of Khameleon, just for the record, and you're getting 23% pretty easily. If you want to do the best version with her, you just want to hit with one side and then go into the freeze, go into the deep, jump 2, and then you'd actually do 4, accidentally click 3 there, and you'll be getting around 27%. I even got 27% there. So 27% for any whiffed attack, a quarter of their health. Now, if you've got the Kitana cameo up that allows you to do the held version, you're going to be getting to 30%. If you're using Sonya, you're going to be at 30%. In a previous video, I listed everybody's percents for slide damage, all right, and I'll put them again in this video. But the idea is you can be hitting for at least a quarter of somebody's else, even if you're using Cyrax, for instance. Oh, and the Cyrax slide combo is a little weird, so let me go ahead and show you that, because that one does operate in a different way. So with Cyrax, what's nice is you now have the ability to choose which side the opponent goes to when they're hit by a slide. Well, when they're hit by anything of the Cyrax chapter. You can either make them fly away from you or towards. So in this case, I'm pressing up when I call Cyrax. Because of that, it flies toward. Then you can do your attack and combo. Now this is only going to do 20% because that's not the real way you want to do it with him. You instead want to do not this. You actually want to hold it until right before you're hitting the, like that, and then you're going to kick and slide, like so. So that's actually the highest damage you're going to get mid-screen with Cyrax. You do want to not hold up for this version. So yeah, I know it's a little confusing. When you're doing this version, hold up. When you're doing this version, don't hold up. I mean, that's still good damage. 26%, yeah. That's 4 touches, and you've killed the opponent. And I mean, you mix in a throw there. You're fighting against a low health person. That could be 3 touches, yeah? So first and foremost, slide. What are your opportunities to slide? You can slide off whiff pokes. They have a lot of recovery. You can slide and punish somebody. I mean, seriously, look at this. 24 frames of recovery. Slide is 14 frames. You can see somebody whiff a poke, and then boom, slide them. So you're wanting to exist in this area or this area for 2 different reasons. One, you're existing in this area, assuming they have some sort of longer range move that they could actually try to attempt to hit you with from this range, because you want to be just outside the range that their hit would happen in. And this is the core of footsies, right? You're existing at the edge of the range they can hit you in to bait them into doing an attack, and then you whiff punish. The thing is, though, that Sub-Zero gets to whiff punish from here. That's crazy that Sub-Zero can do 25 to 30% one cameo bar combo from this range. He can whiff anything. The opponent just messes up. They're like, oops, didn't mean to do this. Oh, you're probably going to be able to punish him with that based on the recovery of their move. So that is numero uno. The thing you're going to be looking to do is punish people with slide. You're going to want to make them think they can hit you, they don't hit you, and you slide them instead. Now, it's not limited to just sliding people, though sliding people with the meterless version is going to net you more damage overall. If you do the metered version, that is going to create damage scaling on the combo. So honestly, it is superior to hit the person with a meterless slide whenever possible. So this was doing what, like 26%? Now it's going to get me 20, right? So look at that. I lost 6% and I spent a bar. Whoa, I'm spending bar to lose damage? What? Well, yeah, that's the damage scaling. It happens on any armored launcher because, as we all know from fighting Tanya, armored launchers are incredible, especially armored launchers that are safe. Now, Sub-Zero's armored launcher is not safe, but it is a low that travels nearly full screen. So yeah, he's got one of the best armored launchers in the game. But a lot of people haven't really been using his armored launcher because they were initially using Serena, or then later they were using Khameleon, which was only giving you an armored launcher a third of the time. Now we've got it 2/3 of the time with Khameleon. It's amazing, right? So armored launcher should now be another part of your repertoire. Don't get me wrong, again, meterless slide is really the way you should be trying to hit them. But there's plenty of instances where you would be hitting with a meter slide. You're mainly going to be hitting with a meter slide if you're looking to punish a gap in somebody's attack. So you really do want to have memorized which characters have which gaps. I know that might sound like a pain, but if you really want to maximize this character, if you want to get every hit you can, you should know that when you are fighting Kitana and she does her forward advancing string, there's a big old gap in it, just like there is for Smoke, just like there is for Reptile. And most characters have gaps somewhere. I previously showed the gaps that happens in Kung Lao's overhead and low strings. So you really want to go through and figure out, okay, what is everybody's gap so I can punish them. Raiden has a gap on his low hit string at the very end, for instance. So by going through and knowing the gaps, you can then use the opponent attacking you against them. The opponent can feel like, oh, cool, I'm getting in there. I'm going to do some damage now. And you're like, yeah, no, please, come in, hit me. I want you to hit me with your forward advancing string so I can then combo you. I start many games against a Kitana player dashing up and blocking, being like, please, I would love for you, please do your string right now, and then I can just blow right through it. And this is going to get you your meter right back. So she's going to do her string and you're going to go right through it. And this is not a guess from you. you can see that second hit coming out. You can see the commitment to the string and then do your armor. So you can be doing something like this. Sonya's a little tricky. You got to call Sonya real fast on forward of dancing strings. There you go. And then you would get her combo. And Sonya does 24% when you're doing the optimal version of her armored launcher. And that's going to be the same when I was showing the video where you're going into back 2, and then you're going to forward 1, 2, then you're going to clone, so on and so forth. It depends if you want to try to hit that combo that is more finicky with the clone off of this, and then you go deep, jump 2 into that, but you got to hit it deeper, so on and so forth. So you can get 24%, but you also don't need to do anything crazy like that. You can just do a much simpler combo and be getting still good damage off of this string that's coming in at you. Like so, it's pretty basic, and you're still getting 22%. Like I said, it's a little tighter for Sonya to get that combo, but it certainly is possible with training. And just so you can see it in case you're wondering, like, for real, show me this combo. I accidentally did the harder one because that's in my muscle memory. But you can do something like that. And you know it's a little wonky how Sonya hits? It's kind of like, is she going to? But then she does somehow. And we're like, thank you, Sonya. Appreciate that hit. And then we get the combo hitting for 22%. And that you can learn. Really, the trickiest part is just connecting with the Sonya, and it's harder because this is a very forward advancing move. But attacks like that have gaps in them that you get to turn into 20%, okay, now you slide the opponent a couple times, you armored launch through a gap or two, you just won the game. The game's over. And this is also me showing you combos without any metered spend. Now, I'll talk about which character is going to get more damage for more meter spend, but the basic idea is without using any of your meter, you're getting 30% usually off a slide. With using 1 bar, you're getting around 20% or more off of an armored launcher. And the rest of your meter, you can honestly just save for breakers. You can just chill, be like, no, I'm good, I'm good. You never need to use vapors anymore. Vapor is done. Goodbye, vapors. Good riddance. We don't need you. The reason why you don't need it anymore is because, remember I said you're playing a more patient gameplay where you're kind of staying away, waiting for them to whiff punish. That's giving also your kameo time to recharge. So when you're going in, when you are attacking them, when you're whiff punishing, you should have your kameo meter. So if you did snag them with a hit, you should have that kameo ready to go to do a combo of one sort or another. So you're not going to need to use vapors. And yes, if you are getting pressured and your kameo hasn't recovered yet and you hit them and you need to use vapors to continue the combo, you can. I'm just saying in most cases, the meter you are spending is just for armored slide. Whether that is armored slide to go through gaps, whether that's armored slide to go through low projectiles or a projectile that takes up a lot of the screen. For example, we've all fought Ashra, right? Ashra throwing that like sonic boom to get herself plus. That's got a huge gap in it. Every time the opponent tries to do that, you can just blow right through with your armored launcher. Or if she's trying to do that to you from a distance, again, just go through it with your armored launcher. So by waiting for the opponent to whiff, or by letting the opponent attack you and exploiting your knowledge of their gaps, because for whatever reason, NetherRealm decided the character is going to have lots of gaps for the most part, you can be attacking, hitting them, and killing them. You can also deal with mix-ups. For example, Havoc is a tear right now. So many people putting that character top 1, but sub beats him. Now, whether you believe me about that or not, the mix-up that Havoc has of going into his overhead string or his low string, you can watch Havoc commit to another move after that string, do your armor launcher, and blow up either version. It doesn't matter if it's an overhead, so you are guaranteed to get a combo out of that. So you can be punishing the opponent for attacking you because armored launchers are crazy good. Now, you might be wondering, well, what if my opponent just sits there? Like, how do I get them to move and do something that I then get to whiff punish, right? Well, the way you get to do that is by pestering them. You pester them with this. This is another reason why you're in this range. You're in this range to bait their longer normals or their fireballs, but you're also in this range so you can hit with this. Now this actually does decent damage at 8%, but what's really good about it is it takes up the whole lower screen, so somebody can't roll through it. I'm looking at you, Havoc. You can't slide through it unless, again, it's an armored launcher, and this does a lot of pushback, a lot of knockback. And the cool thing about the knockback is you get one of these right after it as they're waking up. So you're not just getting this, you're also getting this vapor hit. Now I know the vapor only does 2%, but it's actually really, again, useful for this type of pestering. Also, you can be using vapors to slow the opponent. Whenever it's a Sub-Zero versus Sub-Zero match, we like both know this, and we're just doing this constantly because you can catch moves, see they are happening, and then react to them. So if you vapor a slide, it's going to slow the slide briefly, like, oh, you're sliding, block, full combo now. So by using this to either chip the opponent or knock the opponent back, by using vapors when they're further away, because this does go full screen, like you can just spam this move. Sure, it's only 2%, but you are doing 2% to them, and that will eventually annoy them, and they will come near you. Now you might say, wait, if you're doing this, they're just going to jump, and they're going to full combo punish me, or maybe they've got a dive kick or something like that. This is why it's helpful to have a cameo that also gives you air control. So when you're doing this, you're also throwing that out there. So if they do try to come at you in the air, no worries, you're going to hit them. You're going to get that type of air control from a Sonya cameo, from a Scorpion cameo, shooting fire up in the air. You're going to get that from a Janet with a leap punch. They got to be a little more targeted about when you use it. You can get that from Cyrax going up in the air. So a lot of the cameos you would use naturally are going to give that too. Like even Khameleon will give it to you if you got Mileena. So you can be doing zoning pretty safely. Now, sure, they could armor through that, but not too many characters have distance armored launchers anymore. It's us. It's us sub players. Life is good for sub players where armored launchers is concerned, because Kung Lao's only goes about this far. Tiny goes about, this far, but it's not nearly as fast as ours is, right? Shang Tsung has one, but Shang Tsungs are close. So, really, we're among the best in terms of armored launchers, if not the best these days, since safe armored launchers doesn't really exist anymore. So you want to pester the opponent by using this projectile, using these, like so. And then eventually they're going to want to commit. They're going to commit to something. They're going to want to attack you. And when they attack you, you slide. You say, thank you. I appreciate that attack. If they're real close and you're fighting a character has gaps, just block. Just wait. Eat the throw if you need to. The throw is going to, get you away from the opponent. Sure, if they've got a cameo that allows them to combo throws, you got to be more mindful of that. But that is the major game plan for Slide. We are pestering them until they mess up, and then we're going to hit them with Slide. Or we're going to break their gaps and in that way do damage to them. Now, in addition to Slide being one of the best tools that Sub-Zero has, another tool that he has that's very unique, because when you're approaching Sub, I really want you to try to think of it as, what does Sub have that other characters don't have? Nobody else has a slide like Sub, especially now with buffs to it. But also, few characters have really good options in the air. Few characters are able to keep combos going easily in the air, and Sub can. So not only can you get to a place where you're throwing out Sonya to protect you, like so. Well, let's get up there, Sonya. Come on, Sonya, do your job. Not only can you protect yourself with Sonya by calling it a little bit earlier, but if you know the opponent's going to jump, you can jump, and now you're getting a full combo. So these combos can do good damage, 30% or more, depending on the type of cameo that you're paired with, but your air control is amazing. I've played 2/3 of the casts because I also play Shang Tsung, so I want to know how to play everybody. I'm telling you right now, most characters do not have this easy air conversion. You can do this 3 times before you do one of these, all right? Yeah, I'm getting 25%, but if you use a cameo or a bar, you can be getting more. So I think you can do a standing 4, yeah. So you can be getting, 26%, no meterless, all right? When you know the opponent's going to jump. You can also do down 2. Your down 2 is pretty good. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as Kenshi's. I'm not saying it's as good as Ashra's. I'm not saying it's as good as General Shao's, okay? But it's up there at the right angle. And with the right cameo, you can keep that combo going. You can keep that going with a Sonya. You can keep that going with... There you go. You can keep going with Scorpion. It's a little bit easier to keep going with Scorpion, honestly. There we go. Oh, so close. It's because I'm having her jump kick. Jump kicks often take priority. You got to call the Sonya just a little bit later there. There we go. So you can be doing that. So to this idea of we're going to pester the opponent and make them make mistakes, And if you're thinking, oh no, I'm worried because sure, I can slide them on the ground, but when they're in the air, what do? You got options when they're in the air. You can do jump 1, 2. You can do down 2. Guess what? You can also clone. I love catching people in the air who are jumping at me with clone just because it's so guaranteed. Even if they are doing this jump kick, boom, they're not. They're not. You're not doing that. And you can do this on reaction. You can like watch the person jump at you and be like, mm-mm. Because you might be worried that they're going to jump kick really soon. And if they jump kick really soon, that's going to break your standing 1. Don't worry about that. Now, you can also do this one. But sometimes when you do this one, that'll happen. Now, I'm still going to get back to get the combo, but look at that, right? Oh, no, that just feels bad. I was trying to counter you, and now I'm eating it. Notice I'm not talking about using up block. Yes, you can use up block, but then the opponent could just empty jump you and throw you. Why do that? Just do what's guaranteed. Get a combo, right? So I like, as an Unbreakable player, using clone as a parry. That's right. I imagine clone as a parry. I'm waiting for the opponent to come at me, and then I do this to get them with that combo. So that's another way that you can be punishing the opponent with it, punishing the opponent for coming at you. And the fact that you've got a parry in the air, oh yeah, that's nice. Now, I can also talk about the parry that Sub-Zero Kameo has that actually works into air attacks, but I'll get into that later. The point is here that if you are pestering, doing this, you're doing this, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to jump at you, which I've now shown you 3 solid options for, jump 1, 2, down 2, aerial clone, or if you need, grounded clone, or they're going to try to move in with a good ground-based normal or special move. And as soon as they try to do that and whiff, you punish. That's your game plan. If you do that and really practice it and work on knowing the frames, or at least just visualizing and keeping track of when you can punish stuff and when you can't, and also memorize the gaps in strings, you are going to beat people. I promise you this. And you're going to beat people a lot more easily than you might expect it. Now, I'm not saying that this path is as easy as the mixed path. I'll talk about the mixed path later on. But I do believe this to be a more consistent path than the mixed path with less risk. You are with punishing. You are not just throwing slides out. Yes, you can be a crazy person who just throws slides out in tense moments or just whenever you want to condition the opponent. I do it too, okay? We want to slide, just like Mileena wants to do a ball roll. So you can do that. But if you're playing carefully, you are only sliding when you know it will give you a combo, whether that is meterlessly or because you are blowing up a gap in an opponent string. So practice this and your win rate is going to go up. All right. Now, this doesn't even cover the last type of slide in my mind, which is the dive kick. The dive kick is great. A lot of people, I feel, do not give this dive kick the love it deserves. When the opponent gets up there and they're like, oh, I want to like poke you and punish you, you can be like, cool, I'm going to punish you instead. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So not only can you do slide to punish this sort of stuff, you can watch the opponent whiff and then do this. You can be like, all right, cool. But by placing yourself in the air, you now have a lot of options that affect your aerial trajectory. You can be doing a dive kick. You can be doing a clone. You can be doing a jump attack. You can be doing an enhanced dive kick. Enhanced dive kick's good if you're like too far away. Like you see something happen, you're like, oh, I'm not close enough to get it with the dive kick. That's what I'm going to get it with. It's great. It's awesome. It's also amazing when the opponent comes in and wants to throw you. Because, of course, you can do this, right? You can just neutral juck, get your combo. But what if the opponent pokes instead, like if they were to down poke, right? Doing this is a low crush, and it beats grab. Now, this is incredible. I know a lot of people shit on this dive kick. A lot of people are like, this dive kick is ass. Who cares about this dive kick? I wish I had, Kung Lao's dive kick or Natara's dive kick. I don't. Yeah, Natara's meter dive kick, which is safe, is amazing. But guess what? Our dive kick, meterless, is safe. That's amazing, okay? If you've ever played Street Fighter, you might be familiar with Rufus or Yun. Those characters dominated because they also had a safe dive kick. The dive kick becomes safe when you hit somebody basically at their knees or lower. This is like a classic fighting game thing. -4. You're not getting punished by anybody at -4. Not even Liu Kang, who is notorious for being able to punish stuff that nobody else can punish. He's not punishing you. So if you get used to spacing this dive kick right, not only -2 on that one, all right? Not only can you get a full combo, not some mini combo like you would get in Street Fighter. In Street Fighter, you'd only be plus a couple frames. You'd only be able to combo into like, you know, a light punch or something. That's not the way it works here. We are crazy plus. We are hit advantage 18. You can do your biggest B&B you want to do, and it's only going to be like the slightest bit of damage, getting like 1% or something, because the dive kick is doing only 5% to start. So it's just not as damaging as starter or something else. You lose like a percent or two, but you're still doing almost full damage combos. That is amazing. That we have a dive kick that leads to full combos meterlessly and with the right spacing is safe. This thing is insanely good, and it's been insanely good since day one if you use correctly. The other reason why I'm saying it's insane is because in a game like Street Fighter, you can only dive kick if you're neutral jumping, or in later games, some cases, only if you are forward jumping. That's not the case here. You can dive kick backward jumping. There's a reason why other fighting games do not allow you to use a dive kick when jumping backward, because being able to just do this and then at any point attack somebody is incredible, because you're like, no, I'm running away, I'm safe. Are you attacking me? No, I'm attacking you. It's so freaking good. And the fact that our enhanced version is this completely different thing is also really useful. Now, the use of that is definitely much smaller than the use of regular dive kick. Regular dive kick is so much utility overall. But this you're mainly just using, again, based on spacing. I wish it hit low. I do. But it doesn't. But this is the same idea. You see the opponent whiff something, but you're too far for this to connect. You're like, oh no, they're whiffing it, but I'm not going to get there in time. They're going to recover. So you notice I'm not punishing her now. Well, she's not doing anything. But with something like this, I can be hitting much faster because of how quick its startup is. So this dive kick is amazing for whiff punishing the opponent as well. Do you have trouble with Reiko? Do you hate Reiko's down 4? You should love Reiko's down 4, because you can just walk up to Reiko. Reiko's gonna be like, you coming at me? I'm gonna down 4, and you'll be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna move forward and dive kick you and punish you. Or I can be walking backward as you then try to do that, and then I'm going to do this in instant air. So you do want to learn the instant air dive kick. It's just incredibly useful to be here. And then this, if they just did a down, especially a sweeping move or any sort of grab, no, I'm hitting you. You are not hitting me. And you want to be able to do that, of course, on both sides. And you want to be, you know, as low to the ground as possible, like that. And it's just, it's so good. And you don't even necessarily lose your turn. Okay, this is going to be the last thing I'm talking about with Slide. But if you're at -4 to -2, this game is weird because almost no one has regular attacks. What I mean by that is almost nobody has fast mids. The only person that's got a fast mid, and the reason why he's going to continue to live on the top of the tier list until this part of him has changed, which I don't think it ever will be, is Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage, you do something -4, -2, he don't care. He's like, all right, cool, I'm going to start my string now. Most characters do not have that luxury. Most characters, even if they got a fast mid, it's still like 11 frames, 12 frames. They're not going to be able to do it faster in many cases than you can down poke. So if I'm -2 or even -4 and then I down poke, that's coming out in like, 9 to 11 frames. So even if they got a 12 frame mid, I'm going to beat them with my down pokes. You can be doing something like this and then down poke, and you can often win. Or if you're greedy, which I am, you're just going to neutral duck, and then you're going to hit them with a combo. Or if you think, oh no, wait, they've learned that they can't just do their string because I'm going to duck the first hit of their string and then full combo them, and they're like, they're going to poke me. All right, cool. They're going to poke you instead? Awesome. You're going to armored launch. So you do this, and then you armored launch right after. So you're like, are you going to do a poke? Armored launch, and you will beat out their poke and start a full combo. So this is the other incredible thing about having an armor launcher. You get 2 steal turns back. If you are ever not that negative, it's still your turn if you want it to be. The classic is this, -5. This is your string, besides like just doing this, which is -4. This is one of your lowest negative strings. Now there's a gap in it, so you're paying for that. But if the opponent just blocks that at -5, you can either be poking them back, you can duck their attack, combo them, or if they start to counter that you're doing, you then, right after this, slide. Now, a lot of people do that normally anyway, but if you're not playing with a cameo that allows for an armor launcher, you're really not getting that much out of it. If you are playing with an armor launcher, you're getting 20%. So not only are you getting this opportunity to attack the opponent, because I'm like, all right, you whiff something, I'm gonna attack you, I'm gonna get a combo. But let's say you mess up your whiff punish and they block, it can still be your turn. You can still be on offense. Now, obviously, if they block, you're gonna get killed, but you should be getting killed. You're being greedy by attacking again. But the fact you've got that option enforces mind games, and it's gonna make the opponent hesitate. As soon as the opponent is hesitating, you get to start yours, or you get to throw them. All right, and if you're playing Cyrax, you can get a 20% throw combo. That's right. My people that love throw combos out there, Cyrax is where it's at. It's so hard to hit, and I'll talk more about it in another video, but man, is it good. So, to recap, and then we're going to talk about damage. The first way to get the hit is the slide. You are using slide to whiff punish at ranges around here, or to armor through their gaps. You're making the opponent whiff stuff by pestering them with these two projectiles. If the opponent jumps at you, keep yourself safe with his cameo, or use 1-2, or use down 2, or use instant air freeze. You can also be looking to whiff punish the opponent by using dive kick, whether you're going back, forward, or up. You are going to be safe if you train yourself to hit knees with this. Even a little bit up on their body, it's still, well, that was -10. Even a little bit up on their body, it's not too bad. So like -5 is generally the worst you want to keep it at, right? So you got to learn that instant air dive kick, so that way you can look to whiff punish somebody and still be safe. And because you've got an armored launcher, whenever you end strings that aren't that negative, you can continue to enforce your turn by doing an armored launcher back. Okay, which cameo is going to be best for enforcing this slide-focused game plan? For me, it's probably no surprise here, Scorpion. Why is it Scorpion? The reason why it's Scorpion is because Scorpion gives you more damage than anybody else. Not initially. Scorpion's damage off of the slide is not going to be that great. I mean, it's not bad by any stretch. Sorry, I'm doing a different version. It's going to be 30%, which is equal to or even better than a lot of other cameos. So 30%, all right? That's actually not the highest, though. Sonya gives you 32, so you might think, oh, why aren't we just picking Sonya if we want to be slide-focused? The reason I would say if you want to go all in on the slide is because Scorpion, as I've shown in my videos, allows you to do extensions. And that wasn't even the most damaging extension. The most damaging extension is 2-1 instead of 1-2, but I want to keep this quick, so I'm going to do this one instead. So you can be doing something like this, and now for one extra cameo call, I want you to look at that gain. I gained 7%. That is abnormal, all right? Usually if you're spending a meter or a bar, a good spend is giving you a 5% return. If you're only getting like 2 or 3%, it's usually not worth it to spend the extra cameo bar meter because it's a waste. But that one extra bar, 7 more percent, yeah, I will take 7 more percent. And that's not even finished yet because I can also spend a bar or 2 bars after that, and I can be getting up to 42%. Which is another 5% gain. That's well worth it. You're getting 5% for a bar, it's often going to be worth it. So 37% to 42%. So when I see the opponent whiff something, I've just been chilling here, right? I've just been doing this. That's all I've been doing. So I've got my meter. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. You whiff something, you whiff anything, I am clapping you for 42%. 42% is what you're eating. And I could do even more if I wanted to spend more bars, okay? So if you're going all in on the slide, Scorpion is where it's at. Now, Scorpion is not going to help other aspects of your gameplay as much. And I think for most players, it's probably not going to be the best. Or maybe I'm just bogarting my character. Who knows, right? But I will say that a more rounded approach would be something like Khameleon or Sonya. Khameleon does allow for some decent damage extensions. It's not as good as you're going to get from Scorpion, which I know might seem weird to say, but it's true. Just damage-wise, nobody's hitting off a slide for that much. The only other character that can hit as much as Scorpion does is Cyrax, but that's only in the corner. You're going to see that type of damage. So the thing with Khameleon, and the thing that I don't love about Khameleon, is you're very dependent upon which costume that Khameleon is in. I don't like having my game plan limited by my cameo. I want to be able to do my game plan the moment the opponent twitches. Because what if the opponent twitches and I'm on this. I'm on Jade. Nope. I can't do nothing, right? I'll say the upside of Khameleon, though, is now 2 out of 3 times, you can do something. You can be doing a combo off this, or you can be doing Mileena into the size, as I'm sure you've seen many times. But in terms of a damage extension, you're really going to get the most out of this version, because you're going to do it, you're going to hold it to transform, you're going to do something like this, do something like this, and there you go, and you're getting like 39%. Now, you could actually call Khameleon a 3rd time, just for the record, if anyone's like, hey, old Dan, there's actually even a more efficient combo. Yeah, I know. It's pretty hot looking, too, because you can, wait, what is it? I was doing it just last night. So, yeah, it's this, and then you can still slide. There it is. So notice that didn't really increase my damage much. Now, what I could have done, instead of doing the kick immediately side, I could have done kick into clone, and then done another kick into the side, and that would have given almost like 39, 40%. But notice that is not as high as Scorpion, and that's only when you're starting with Kitana. So I think Khameleon is a nice option, though, because, I mean, we're still getting really good damage. Like, I'm not trying to say this is bad damage. This is not bad damage, okay? This is still 33%. You can get 35% pretty easily if you're just doing a freeze in there. So it's, you hold the Khameleon, then you do this, then we freeze in the air, which is a new cool thing. I love that. It looks just so awesome. Yeah, there you go. So that's a pretty easy, pretty straightforward 35% combo. And Khameleon recharges so fast, it's not a big deal to use 2 Khameleons. So as long as you've got Kitana, you got a 35 to 36% combo, and that is meterless. We did not spend any meter to do that. We did use the clones. That's affecting clone setups, so I'll talk more about that in another video. But Khameleon is actually a pretty good option for high slide damage if you want to play this very whiff punish style. Also, Khameleon is the best mix. So if you want to play a mix character, it's the most true mix you're going to get. And I know some people might say, well, wait, I thought Sonya's mix is amazing. Now, Sonya's mix is amazing, but it comes with limitations because of up block. I'll cover that more in my mix video. So Khameleon's the best for mix, and she's probably 2nd best, unless we're talking about the corner for Cyrax, for slide. So if you want to be a more versatile Sub-Zero player, go in on slides and go in on mix, it's a good option. The problem is you can't control it. You can only be all in on slide when you've got the right ones. For those wondering, the Mileena one, just so I'm covering all the bases. The video's long, might as well cover it all. So if you're doing this one, you actually want to hit with just one side, just by the way. So you want to call her late, and that way it'll just hit with one side. Then you can do this into the freeze, delayed jump 2, you just got to delay it a little bit more, and that'll be your max damage. Now, you don't have to do the max damage. You can just do something like that and still be getting good damage. Let both hit, it's all fine. Like this. So this version, very easy to do, 24%. The harder version is 27%. So if you want to maximize your damage, you can. So 2/3 of the time, you could be doing pretty good damage with slides. And if you've got Kitana, you could even be extending it to 35 to 36 pretty easily, and even for a bar like 38, 39. So Khameleon's a pretty good middle of the road if you don't mind being beholden to what Khameleon is doing. What about Sonya? Thought we loved Sonya up in here. Thought I played Sonya forever. Shouldn't Sonya be topping out this list? Well, here's the funny thing about Sonya. Sonya does the most damage off of a single hit. So if we just use her once, just use her one time, go into, back to, go into this, go into deep kick there, we're going to get it. Or y'all can just trust me. Do you trust me? So this combo is a pain. I'll admit it, it's fine, it's a pain. Because of that change. Oh, come on. Anyway, it is 32%. So it's the highest. It's 32%. Now it's like, I just want to hit it. There we go. Not a fraud yet. So only a half fraud. So 32% is what you're going to get from Sonya. That's higher than anybody else. So if we're talking about single slide hit, yeah, Sonya Sonya is where it is at. The problem is, it's really hard to extend much past that for any significant damage. I spent some time in the lab on this. All last night I was going and I was like, Sonya, come on, talk to me. There's got to be more damage that you can do. And you know, there's stuff, but the highest I was getting to was around like 36, 37. That's not a good meter spend. That's like only 1, 2, 3% you're getting for each extra bar you're investing. There is one like there that's around 35%. Something's not too bad. You do a second Sonya call into the air freeze. Do something like this. Oh no, I've already used the air freeze. I can't do it again. No, it's this. What is it? Oh, it's back to, yeah. You do back to into this, into calling her. So we've called her twice. Here we do this. So 34%. So notice with 2 cameo calls, no meter spend, we're getting around 34. But I was getting 32 for 1 cameo call. Now granted, this later combo is easier, but at the end of the day, you're just not getting super high explosive damage out of Sonya slide combos. And this is not to say the damage isn't good. Getting 30% off of a slide is crazy. Okay, if we were in any fighting game and I was like, yeah, from here, I'm going to combo you for almost a third of your life. That's like, I can't even express how incredible that is. So I'm not trying to downplay how amazing Sonya's damage with slide already is. I'm just saying if you want to go all in with slide, nah, Sonya's not really where it's at. It's easier to get more damage out of Khameleon and definitely easier to get more damage out of Scorpion. Now, the upside of Sonya is that Sonya is all the time from anywhere. It's a little harder when you're super close because if you don't call Sonya soon enough, she will whiff. But at any other range, it's not that bad to get her, all right? So the upside of Sonya is you can do it pretty much any time. The upside of Khameleon is it's more damage and ends up being better mix. But I would say that Sonya is like second best mix, you know what I mean? So I think Sonya and Khameleon are really, really close. At the end of all of this, I'll say which, kameo I think is the best overall. But Scorpion's best because you get to do it from right here, because you're doing the held version. And then I would put Khameleon next, and then Sonya next. What about other characters? What about like a Goro or a Mavado? The thing about a Goro Mavado is you're losing damage, and you're not getting a lot more damage out of it. I've experimented, I've tried combos. Please tell me if there's some combo that I'm not getting. But much like with Sonya, I'm really not getting a ton more damage out of Mavado. And yes, I've seen the crazy like Combo Heaven videos. Shout out to Combo Heaven doing amazing stuff with like Mavado. But a lot of those are high meter spends or part of a combo. They're not just raw slide. So Mavado's damage, even if you use 2 Mavados, is not taking you to the same place that you're going to get with these other characters. And the reason why a character like Khameleon's Kitana or Scorpion is getting that extra damage is because you're doing this version of slide. You're not doing this version of slide. This version of slide is doing 6%. This version of slide is doing 8% because you hit with a spear and then the rest of the combo continues. So that's why those are just naturally going to get more damage. Now, for anybody out there who's like, but oh man, Cyrax. Yes, Cyrax is giving you the most damage in the corner because with Cyrax, you can actually do it all the way to the point where the spear is stabbing them into the ground, which, I mean, it just looks awesome, all right? Like, I am a little obsessed with Cyrax right now. I'm not even going to lie. This character has some sick tech for Sub-Zero. I'm really excited to explore more of it. But just in terms of the slides, so you're generally not going to be sliding someone in the corner is the thing. Like, they're worried about getting out. So it's not as likely you're going to be whiff punishing here. So this is, again, why I don't really put Cyrax normally on the list. But for funsies, let's imagine we are hitting with Cyrax in the corner. Like I mentioned, you really get hit with that full spear. You see how that knockdown happens? So even just that is giving you really good damage, and that's why Cyrax is so explosive in the corner. Now, you've got a couple different options in terms of how you want to use it because of the 2 directions. You can have Cyrax take the opponents. You can have them go this way and then freeze them and keep the combo going. And that's by holding up Cyrax when Cyrax hits. Or you can just do neutral Cyrax when Cyrax hits, and then they'll... No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Neutral Cyrax throws them back to the freeze, and then, you know, you do stuff like that. Or you're doing, that was still neutral, or you're doing up to keep them forward, and then you're jumping and connecting. Now, the thing about it is that it can be tight. Like, it really can be. It can be tricky to get that hit. So to me, Cyrax is a bit finicky in that regard. See how that can even whiff? You're like, oh, I just finally got it, and then it still whiffs. It's like, yeah, no, it can be tough. And you got to hit it like right here because you want more time with them in the air. I'm still deciding which of these I like better, if I prefer the jump back version like this. I think that one's a little more consistent. You're getting like 44% for 2 bars, 1 kameo meter. So that's good. That's definitely good. That's high damage. But you can be getting even more damage out of it. You can get actually 2 Cyrax calls, which is pretty sweet, because if you do the up one, I want to say, yeah, and then just dash in and kick, and then do it again. So you can actually get 2 there. I messed it up, so I didn't get the 2. But if you, it's tricky remembering like which direction you want to be going. But if you do that version, so that's the up version. So you do up version, dash in. You just got to dash in quick though. You can actually even get standing 4 if you do it at just the right height. But sorry, it's got to be up version. And you're dashing in, hitting again in a freeze, and then going into the slam. But you got to do the slam really low. So there's stuff you can do to be getting. Everything's in the 40%. Everything's in the 40%. Even if you're just doing, you know, 1 call, you're in like high 30s. Even if I was doing, you know, this, let's say, that did not whiff. There we go. So high 30s, 37%. So that was 1 kameo bar, 37%. Clearly, that is the most damage by far you are getting off of Slide. Higher than that is only Sonya at 32% mid-screen. Now, I will say, if you're hitting in the corner with most of these characters, you are going to be getting more damage, but you're not going to be getting 36, almost 37% like Cyrax is. So Cyrax is this really fascinating, unique combo that I'm going to do a whole video just about Cyrax, because there's just some weird stuff there. If you almost want to be a grappler style player, you can, because you can combo off throw. The timing is so insane though. You have to do it like right as that blast finishes. There you go, and then you freeze them, and then you do something like this, and that will actually connect if you just do the 1-2 low enough, and it'll do 20%. So if you want grab combos all the time, Cyrax is your guy. If you want to be able to go into nets, you can. You can even do nets off of the air versions if they're low enough. So you could be doing, you know, something like this, into this, then call, get them in the net, so on and so forth. So there's just fun synergies with this character. I know I told you in almost every video, and then I just showed all the major synergies. But the point here is, if you are a Slide enthusiast, you can be a Slide enthusiast with Cyrax, getting around 26% mid-screen, so you're shaving off some of your damage mid-screen, but then you're getting it back in the corner, because, you know, it's 1 bar for kameo to get the 26 mid-screen, and then it's 1 bar of kameo to get basically 36, almost 37 in the corner. So that does even out. But you got to ask yourself, where are you more often, right? The thing is with Cyrax, when you're doing these side combos, you're, yes, throwing them back, but you're not really moving them across the screen like you are with others. So if your whole deal is, oh yeah, I'm going to be this awesome Cyrax, I put you in the corner and then I do tons of damage, the way you're doing that is through this, and then shoving them with this, you're like pushing them forever closer to the corner. And you can do that, but that's a bit more meter intensive. I'm actually having to spend a bar, because if I don't want to spend the bar and I do this version of the combo instead, yeah, I'm still getting them. And here, I'll show you mid-screen so you can really see what I'm talking about here. So I can be doing combos like this, and then throw them over here, like so, and then you can get a slide after that. But I'm not really progressing them across the screen. If I really want to progress them off the screen, I'm doing this. And yeah, you're getting some decent, I mean, pretty good progression, honestly, by the time you finish your combo. So it's a bit more spendy to get them across the screen, and you're not moving them across the screen as fast as you would with other characters. So I think Cyrax is really good, but in weird ways. So he's harder to play. Cyrax is kind of this outlier, and that's why I'm going to do a separate video with them. I think you got to have really good execution, though, in order to maximize it, because if you're truly going to be a Cyrax player, you've got to be able to hit this every time. That was too soon. You got to be able to get this 20% grab combo every single time, and I'm telling you right now, this thing is rough. Now, I'm not a combo monster, like, you know, like a ninja killer or something. Like, that is not me, but if you are, this could be a good thing for 20%. You can see I'm missing it, like, every time there. It's right as it leaves, like, right there. No, still too soon, actually, that time. Right as the ice breaks off his hand. See, hit a little bit there? So this is really hard. I'm just honestly proving why I'm saying you're needing amazing execution to get this right. But once you can, you're getting a 20% combo every time. You're not really progressing them toward the corner, too soon again, but you're getting them there. So the point of this is, I suck. There we go. The other point is that is hard to do. But if you can get it, and get it every time, and I actually mentioned Ninja Killer because a long time ago Ninja Killer did Sub-Zero and Cyrax and showed off that type of stuff. The combo is even better now because you can do mid-screen meterless combos like this, and it's good. You're getting, you know, 26.5%, and that's not bad damage for just one cameo bar that recharges, right? Not as much damage as you're getting with most characters, but it can be done. So anyway, that was the aside for Cyrax. I do not count those Cyrax as a traditional slide-focused Sub-Zero because the damage is so split versus what you're getting mid-screen versus the corner. I think you'd be playing Cyrax if you want to be more of an outlier or surprise your opponent and have grab combos that do 20% every time. If that's you, Cyrax could be your pick. And like you enjoy net shenanigans and taking their meters, stuff like that, there's definitely cool stuff you can do there. But if you're planning to do slides, you're going to be playing Scorpion, who I know nobody's going to play, but feel free. If you would like to, join me as a Scorpion player. More likely, you're going to be playing Khameleon or Sonya. Khameleon or Sonya. If you want to focus on slides, that is the way to go. Last thing, if you made it this long in this, what is this, like an hour-long video at this point, I might as well give you some scummy tech to close out. So this is not like real tech. This is the fake stuff that you can hit the opponent with. But I'm definitely going to show it to you. I think there's mainly Khameleon players out there. If I'm going to guess, I think that's the, you know, who really popularized Sub-Zero, kind of opened people's eyes to Sub-Zero. So why don't we go ahead and show it for Khameleon? We're already sort of scummy if we're playing Khameleon, right? So the point here is, if you want some scummy tech, 3 things. 1, you have pseudo mix-ups because you've got an overhead as the 3rd hit of the string. Why have I forgotten how to do my 1-2-2 string? So 3rd hit is overhead, okay? That's a 21 frame overhead. You can instead do slide. Now, this is not a real mix-up because the slide is 14 frames, it's 21 frames, that's a 7 frame difference. And I mean, that's getting closer to being a mix-up than your back 3 to back 2 is, but it's not true. Like, that is a fuzzyable mix-up. So if somebody knows that you might do slide instead, they can certainly be ready for it. But the first time, you might get them. The first time, especially you want to close out a match, you've never done that the entire match, so they're never worried about you going for that low. Break it out as the last hit that's going to win you the game. Same deal here. You got 22 frame overhead, so the gap's a little bit further, but you could go in a slide. And keep in mind, we can go in a slide off of 2 different cameos now with Khameleon. We can go off of Mileena, or we can be going off of Kitana. So there's definitely, and then you can be doing your, you know, regular combos with it. The stuff I've shown before, you would ideally want to hit with just one of the size, and you would do that by calling Mileena late. Or if you want to do the easy version of the combo, you just jump up. So, you know, there's the different versions. There we go. The one hit into this, into the perfect freeze, so on and so forth. Or you just do the basic one, jump up, get a freeze, make your life simple, do like this, and you're getting over 30%. Hey, we like that, right? So that wouldn't really be 30% because they're blocking the first 2 hits of these strings. But yeah, you got 2 strings that end in an overhead. So what you can do is you can instead end in the slide. Don't use it a lot, but it is there as some scummy tech. You can also do overhead and low. It's not a real mix-up, though, unless you've got Mileena out. With Mileena out, you can be doing this because it would be overhead, and so that would be a viable mix-up into the overhead low. The second hit of Khameleon is very fast, 18 frames. So that's actually really close. It's going to be tough for the opponent to fuzzy. That's only a 4-frame difference. So that I would almost say is legit tech. That's like real mix-ups, and I'll be getting more into real mix-ups in my next video. So this one's actually quasi-real if you've got this girl, okay? If you don't have that, if you're rocking, you know, Sonya, you can still be doing with Sonya's overhead, but I'll talk a lot more about Sonya's overhead in my next video about mixing the opponent up in that play style. Last one for super scummy tech, all right? If you made it this far, you deserve the dirt. The dirt is, of course, we've got a down poke into a launcher. Yeah, this tech is real. That's just the world of MK1 and sort of MK in general of down pokes into specials. Is because this game doesn't have good mids on most characters. So this is your good mid, a down poke, and being able to cancel that into something people often aren't prepared for. And the fact we get to combo off of that cancel is insane. Now, I'm not saying you should do this all the time. You shouldn't, okay? But the fact we can do it at all and get a combo meterlessly, yeah, no, that's good. That's nice that we can do that. And yeah, the combo routes are the same as they've been. You do have to, you know, press down and then go right into slide. It's a little tricky, but, you know, with it a little bit of practice, you'll be fine. Like, don't worry about it. So you're just breaking that down poke into the slide before they're ready to block, basically, because what's happening is you're poking, they're expecting to poke back because pokes are negative, so you down poke, they down poke. What happens instead, this is a frame trap. Frame trap means your opponent's going to try to do an attack because they've got the space to have the button come out, but not fast enough for the button to actually become active and hit you. So instead of them hitting you, you hit them with a slide, and now that slide launches meterlessly, that's right, meterlessly, you can get a full combo off that. I know I haven't shown the full combo, but even this, okay? And that's super low damage. That is not even close to being optimal, 24%. So again, don't do this all the time, but mix it in every now and then. So you got some scummy tech. You can do combos off of this string, off of this string, off of this, off of this. Don't make that your regular, okay? And yeah, I mean, you can do it off of other stuff too, but people are usually a little more careful off of these other down pokes. Down one is usually the one you're going to be canceling into the slide. So the fact you can now do that meterlessly, previously you had to spend a meter to do that sort of dirt. Now it's free. That's just amazing as well. So you can end up being a bit of a scummy player to close out those rounds, get those last hits, especially when pressure's high, the opponent's stressed, they want to be attacking you, and then you blow them up for trying to attack you back. There it is all. That is How to Win with Sub-Zero Part 1, focused on what Sub's strengths are in MK1. Slide damage. He's never had a slide like this. MK11 was the closest, and he only got it once. Now you've got it for the whole stinking match. Dive kick. Never had a dive kick like this. This dive kick is incredible. Harkening back to great dive kick characters in Street Fighter games, use that dive kick. A little bit of using the clone as a parry, and then of course a little bit of scummy mix-up tech. We're also talking about breaking through opponents' gaps using the metered version of the slide. We're talking about stealing your turn back with the metered version of the slide. And also, of course, having an armored wake-up that launches is always going to be nice. Hope this is giving you some tech to start using in your games, start winning those matches. Check it out next time. I'll be talking about mixing your opponent up as well as trapping them in their corner. So this was one major play style in this video. I'll get into 2 other play styles in my next one.